WEFM is SVG.
24 minutes on to 11 o'clock here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You're locked onto WEFM 99.9, the clean, fresh sound. And this is your It's Your Turn program. Remember, It's Your Turn is an interactive program. So the numbers to call are 457-9997 if you're calling from a local landline, 532-9997 if you're calling from a digital cell phone. And you can also send us a message or call us on WhatsApp at 457-9997. The It's Your Turn program is being hosted by Mr. Cecil Ryan, Mr. Philbert, and Mr. Drew at Providence. Good morning to you, Cecil.
Good morning to you, Karen, and good morning to Philbert, and good morning to Joel, and good morning to all our listeners and followers on the WEFM platforms and on the Star FM Star Radio platform, and by extension, Garfana Radio. Good morning to you, and it's good to be back in studio with my colleagues here. Of course, I also have to say good morning, I have said it already, to everyone. So, Pigeon, it's your turn.
Cecil, thank you, and good morning. Good morning, Joel. Good morning, Kieran. Good morning to all of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and to all persons listening to WEFM, wherever you are. It's good to be back on another edition of It's Your Turn. And as usual, we're going to not attempt, but I think we will succeed in engaging you an interesting discussion on all the issues, local, regional, and international. Joel?
Yeah, thank you, Pigeon. Cecil, Kieran, good morning, St. Vincent Grenadines. It's good to be back in full force in the studios here at WFM. We should have a great program. We have lots of issues to discuss, as you mentioned, Pigeon, and I look forward to not only our interaction, but the calls from persons who are listening to the program, whether they are resident here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines or they're overseas. I may have to, as I mentioned, leave a little bit early due to other engagements, but I'm here because there's no other place to be at this time.
Of course, I like that. There's no other place to be. We should make that our tagline, It's Your Turn Sunday morning from 10:30 to 1 o'clock, sometimes beyond. There's no other place to be. It's Your Turn on WEFM, the clean, fresh sound. For me, it's wonderful to be back in studio with my colleagues here. Having been away from studio for about two Sundays, of course. So it's good to be back. It feels, it's a difference when you're involved remotely and as compared to be in studios. It's a more intimate kind of interaction. You see faces, you can see, in a direct way. And it is not the same thing when you're speaking from remote. So it's good, really, really good to be back with you, my colleagues here in studio. And as they said, we're expecting a lively interaction this morning. We don't have a particular guest, but everyone who is following and listening is our guest this morning. So feel free to call in to interact with us. Notwithstanding, I remember the last time I was on remotely, Joel, a friend from overseas. I don't remember his name. I don't know his name, but he was so pleased that I was not in studio. And that when I'm in studio, I restrict his call. But that is really not. I haven't really. He said I banned him. I don't recall that at all. So I'll give a special invitation to him this morning. He should feel as free as possible to call us. Yes, I was just giving a message to our very able technician, Kieran. Yes, so likewise to everyone else. And at this time, I want to give a hearty shout out to a brother who listens to us every Sunday, he says. He knows it, the time of our preliminaries and how long we go on the preliminaries. He works at the port, at Kingston Port, and I had reason to be there on Friday. So he assisted me and he requested that I give him a shout out. His name is Noel Edwards, and he's the one who helps people when they have to, whatever they have to do to their cargo. He's there and he looks very, well, at least in my experience with him on Friday, was very efficient. And I guess Gerald Pigeon, if you have to go there, I would recommend him. And anyone else who's listening, if you have to go to Port Kingston to clear whatever cargo, he's there and he's a very able man. So, Noel, shout out to you this morning, and I hope you're doing well this morning. And your other colleagues who are there, who listen to us religiously, good morning to all of you, and share the positive vibes and share the good feelings. Good to be with you guys, to have you guys following us this morning. Yeah, so Pigeon and Joel, big news. I am back. Trump is back. You know, yeah, guys. What y'all think? Well, I shouldn't be laughing really, but
Normalcy is no longer normal.
that's an interesting statement. Well, don't you think it depends on where you're sitting?
No normal.
You don't think it's a relative kind of situation? Depends on where you're sitting from.
There's some. I've been discussing this topic for so often over the last 6 days or so, and before, but yet I am at a loss right now to say exactly to comment on the results of the U.S. election as a whole, presidential, for the Senate and for the houses. There's so much to be said, but be that as it may, what I can indicate is that, first of all, that in favor of the president-elect, he is a good marketer.
Mm-hmm.
He identifies some key issues. They drive home that would impact on his targeted audience, the constituency that he's aiming to win, which is basically all Americans who can vote, particularly in certain states. And then he decides on a particular message, how he's going to convey, to touch the hearts and soul of those persons, and he was successful. What came out quite clearly, while we used to say that Donald Trump would only win his base, and his base is perhaps maybe even less than 40% and so forth, and it would be a challenge for him. And so, but it's quite clear now, based on the information available, see what he has extended his base in terms of the persons voting for him, where, for example, like the Latino population went up to 45%, which is a significant number. And traditionally, historically, outside of say the Cubans and so on in Florida, that most Hispanics supported the Democrat Party. Now that has been changing, yes, but it was the impact was significant. Even when the comments were made out of at the Madison Square Garden meeting that the Trump and his team had there to the end about Puerto Rico being an island of basically of garbage. And it thought that that would have, with over 500,000 Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania, that would have had an impact on the results in Pennsylvania. But it turned out that Trump also won Pennsylvania. There's a sizable black population in the cities, Pittsburgh and what's the other main city there in Pennsylvania? The two main ones there, that Philadelphia. Philadelphia. That again, he performed okay. He came away with what was required for him to win the thing. And then they had this so-called blue wall, where these 7 states, which to the north and Midwest there, that he won all 7. So the blue wall was actually shattered and so on. But what was also interesting, people had this discussion as what is happening to the black men in the United States. Why is it that as much as 20% say that they would vote for Donald Trump, especially when you think about how he has responded or treated or reacted to the plight of black people and so on. But they said that, to some of them said that the Democrats and has not been speaking to them, for them, and it was virtually exacerbated by the comments by Barack Obama and so forth. Basically, we're kind of admonishing black men for even considering voting for Trump. But then the black men will ask a basic question. So you're pushing ahead about reproductive rights and all sorts of different issues and so forth. And then the question is, what about us? You have not been speaking to our issues in any significant way. What about us? And that has not been addressed. And then the last comment that I want to make, right? Well, two comments. One has to do with the fact that all the polls suggested that the women of America, black, white, Hispanic, and so on, were heavily leaning towards voting for Harris as for president of the United States, and that didn't turn out to be the case either, and so on. So in the end, it was determined by the pundits and those who were involved, particularly the Democratic Party, that perhaps the fundamentals were not addressed by the Democratic Party. Not in the last 3 months when Kamala Harris was selected or elected to be the candidate, presidential candidate for the Democrats. But even before, for quite some time, the Democratic Party has not been attending to its base, and things were slipping away from them. So now they have work to do now, and this is going to take quite a while. As it may turn out, they have lost the White House, they have lost the Senate, and it is possible that they could lose the House as well. My understanding is that the last figure I think was that the Republicans were 214, they need to be at 218 to take back the House, and there were about 18 or so districts or so not yet decided. So that to get 4 out of 18, the possibilities are leaning towards them succeeding in this regard. So the Democrats have a lot of work to do. People are talking about what are the consequences now for particularly for minorities, and is Trump going to go through with all this thing, the rhetoric and so on? We said deportation of 10, 11 million people, no matter what it costs, is going to happen. This is a day one exercise and so forth, and all the other things that he would have said that would have given concern to persons like ourselves living in the United States and so forth. Now, some persons within the Republican family say that this is Trump. He said similar things in 2015, 2016. And what happened? He didn't go through with some of them. So it is just about winning the 2016 election, winning 2020, his attempt. And maybe it's the same thing in 2024, when starting from January 20th, 2025. We'll wait and see what happens. But it's a story. This election is truly consequential, and it's going to have an impact on world events in a major way. And it's could very well have a significant impact on the Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines included. And from an economic standpoint, we have to make the assessment. We depend a lot on the remittances and so on from our families in the United States. And we have to see what the figures, how this would translate into impacting these numbers. So this is something that we'd have to look at. But it is not necessarily entirely and in closing, I would just say it's not entirely a surprise. It was said that it was going to be very close, but when one side says it's going to be very close, hard to tell. It could well mean that they were behind the 8 ball from the inception, but they did not want to say that. And this is the result as it is now. Let's see how it goes, and there are lessons to be learned by all of us, those persons over there, and even right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in terms of our own state of affairs.
Pigeon,
I also I think that a lot of institutions have to be revisited. What we normally expect from them. For instance, the polling and the polling systems. The polling was off, and one wonders whether or not the approach to polling should be revisited. Because every poll that I have listened to give Harris the edge or had it very close. But then Trump went on to win by a landslide. I heard a phenomenon, I don't know how much validity it has, that there are secret persons withhold their true feelings when dealing with the with pollsters. They're secret Trump supporters who prefer not to say they're voting for Trump. For instance, the other thing, I missed a point. I'll come back to it. I missed the point I was going to make.
All right, so let me give my little piece here. First of all, let me say up front that fundamentally, in my experience and my observation, it comes down, the final decision comes down to material matters. And in the case of the US, and certainly in our case, but particularly in this election, it was cost of living. For example, I know people have talked about the price of gasoline going up, the price of food, the price of housing, and those are, and even price of health. So those are concrete, material, kitchen table, as they would say, issues. So that is what I believe it came down to in the final analysis. And whereas Trump, when he was in 2016, he benefited from what Obama did, what he achieved in his 8-year stint. And when the economy was proven to be good, but he didn't, certainly he took credit for some of the things, but really it's because of what Obama did. And some voters, I understand, say they remember that when Trump was in, things were better. I've heard that said by many analysts. So they remember that. And they think, from what he has promised, that things are going to be like they were then. For example, he talked about on day one deporting millions of non-documented workers. His supporters feel, and they voted for him, they feel that, and they're saying that their cost of living, of housing, and so on and so forth is caused by the same undocumented people, which is not true.
Even managed to divide them.
Yeah, right, right. So it's linked again to the material situation, the voters. So they came out en masse to vote for him because they have this recollection, well, false, I think, that things are going to get back the way they were. Unfortunately, on the other side, on Harris and the Democrat side, things as far as my reading of this economic situation, things have been good, except they have not trumpeted their own success enough. And in fact, some of the things that they've been blamed for is things that happen in terms of the emergency, the pandemic. We know the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. Those are things happen outside of their own influence, but they're having significant effect on the American economy and society. So they didn't. But Harris side, the Democrats and Biden, to a large extent, did not, in my view, and from what I'm hearing, did not take that enough and did not explain that enough to the voters. And in linked to that is my own view that I looked at the campaign and I thought Harris was not as aggressive and she didn't project a confident person to become president, a strong person. That's what I observed. She was always attacking Trump. And I remember making the observation and sharing it with somebody that the number of times they mentioned Trump's name, it was to Trump's credit. If you go back and listen the number of times Donald Trump's name was mentioned in their campaign and on their program, you go back and look. It was to Trump's credit. Whereas Trump got people angry. He got his voters and supporters very angry when he talked about criminals are coming, they're eating cats in Springfield.
Springfield, yeah.
And they're doing this. He's getting people angry. That is what he did. And unfortunately, I have to use the word unfortunately, Harris was disadvantaged by her gender and her race. And those things fed, and those things became exaggerated on the fundamental.
Understating the extent to which that was a factor.
Well, it was a big factor, but I'm saying the fundamentals, they disadvantaged her in the campaign. But the fundamentals were there. And I think it's on the basis of the fundamentals that really people just forget about some of the issues that the Harris side was raising in terms of freedom was a general thing, freedom to do a number of things. Those things, I don't know. America, what we saw was the unveiling, if you like, a reminder of the underbelly of the American society. That is what we saw.
That's it.
And Trump expressed that. He understands it. He expressed that very well.
And exposed it even more.
Further, yeah. And he benefited from it. He knew all these negative things that he was saying. And therefore, if you notice, as you have said, Joel, not that his numbers increased significantly over past thing. They basically remain the same. But Harris, on the other hand, on her campaign, did not benefit from generally work that they did, Biden's presidency, and because to my mind, they were not aggressive enough. They were tame. And tame is as in attacking the issues and rather than spending time defending Trump. I thought she should have said more. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Da da da. But I don't think the voter, the average American voter, was convinced that she was able to deal with the basic fundamental issues.
Yeah, she found herself in a jam.
Yeah.
First of all, she refused to separate herself from Joe Biden.
From Biden,
right?
yeah.
And I understand why. And that is it. So when you promote these things now, you say, but why you got 3.5 years to implement? Why didn't you do them? Why are you talking about these things at this particular time now? And then what that does, it puts her, as she speaks more to them, she puts her under the defensive. And she'll get attacked and so on by the Trump's
by the establishment.
And so on. So that is it. Yeah. So what she had to play on in the end is that he's unstable.
Yeah.
And so forth. And he will do so much evil and so on for things in terms of whether you're a woman, black man, or whatever the case might be, and so on. And that didn't work. It just didn't hold. I think she was in a difficult place from the get-go. She was tied umbilically to Joe Biden and so forth. In 3 months, was not enough time. And just maybe she might not have been the best candidate to go to represent the interests of the Democrats. But this would be all these excuses and Monday morning or Wednesday morning quarterbacking and so forth. But I think the fundamental point is caught up in there with the cultural problem. When I say deep-seated cultural, which includes ethnicity, race, and all the factors, and what is happening. And as you said, Trump exploited it to the fullest.
Even to the
fullest.
I mean, American society, and certainly Trump expressed that so sharply, is based on racism and misogyny. Trump's just expressed that, and not only Trump himself, but the people around him. They express it, and they use it to galvanize or to consolidate the people who voted for them. That's to my mind, that's how Trump won this election. Eh?
And
he made people angry. His followers, that I mean,
including the Hispanics. I mean,
Joel, you're saying Hispanics. Including some black people,
and blacks as well.
Yeah,
but like the migration issue, the
southern border. But more, right.
That was a key thing. Yeah. But who got angry and who got upset behind? It was not just the white persons who felt as if their place was being overrun by the.
That's what happened.
The Latinos as well felt
that way.
The same way, and so on. They left Central or Latin America to get away from certain things. And here's it that they're coming now, the MS-13 and Barrio 18 and whoever else they are coming. They've left, they're crossing the border and coming after them after they tried so hard to get away from these people, the crime and the violence and all that kind of thing. And
that's what they saw. And those things following them.
And then it raises the issue, well, what has happened to wokeism and with the left leading liberal stance on some of these issues who felt free up the border, free up certain things, let certain things happen, the transgender issues, all these things and so forth, and including Kamala herself. Had taken a position to free up the thing to some degree and so forth. She had to backpedal on some issues like fracking and so forth. And she basically, the white people say, well, where are you exactly on these issues? You're neither here nor there. You were there, then you're back here and so forth. And it was an unfortunate situation. And the man is back.
The man is back. And is back, and it's a more challenging situation for people in America.
I was thinking about a particular class, the punditry, the coalition of pundits and their views. It seems like if you have to listen to them and just dismiss.
No, really. There are aspects of what they say, I think. Well, for me, I listen to them and I take certain things from what they say. But for me, as an individual, fundamentally, always, it comes down to material issues. Every decision a person makes comes down. And that's where, in our own situation here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, if we want to understand how people vote and what's going to happen, we have to look at the material situation, the housing, the jobs, the education, those things which make for a condition existential issues, how you exist, livelihoods and so on. To me, those are the matters. And that's what happened in the United States. And I think Jolie spoke earlier about the fact that they were depending white women. Boy, the rural white women, they have to look at their kitchen table issues.
Yes.
And on top of that is the nature of the American society. Because we have to be clear, American society has not changed. It's fundamentally those issues which you talked about, the racism, misogyny. I mean, can you imagine, think of it, a black woman saying that when she becomes president, Peter said, a number of things which the conservative and the basically people, especially people who are, the evangelicals and so on, they don't believe in those things. And most of the time in the rural areas, these are the same evangelicals and so on who live there. They don't believe in some of the things. They don't identify with them. In fact, they condemn some of those things. And those are some of the things that some of the people, Trump got them angry and angrier by using the same language of Kamala Harris and the Democrats to work against them. That's what Trump did. He got people angry.
And throughout the whole process, in fact, since 2015, 2016, Trump portrayed himself as a victim.
Yeah.
A victim of the state and abuse. And every case that was brought against him, he made it look as if he was being ostracized innocently.
And he was saying he is their defenders, eh?
Yeah.
That's the point, eh? So he was making the point
Retribution.
that when they attack me, they're also attacking you.
Yeah.
That's what Trump said. And he made a point. Gentlemen, we have a call. Let's see who's calling us here. Good morning and welcome to our discussion this morning and to the program, of course.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. No program today. Have program today on 99.9.
You're on the program, my friend.
Oh, okay, good. You don't know who's speaking.
No, I don't know. Tell us who.
Oh, well, there's somebody then. I'll hear. My name is Winston.
Okay, Winston. Greetings and welcome to the program.
Yeah. All right. A long time I ain't calling.
All right. So share with us now where your ideas.
I'm going back to the I don't know if the topic again because I didn't listen and now remember me my run on it.
No, really.
I'm speaking about the greatest man president ever produced in the world.
Who is he? Or she?
Trump.
Oh, Trump is the greatest. Trump, in your mind, is the greatest president.
In my mind?
Yeah.
Tell you all I could see.
All right. So why you think that he is?
Not the greatest, Trump only run back, In my views, nobody ain't telling me that.
But hold
Trump
on. Can I just ask you to clarify what is the statement you made when you say about Trump? What was your opening statement?
No, well, I come to the point.
Okay. All right.
Trump only run back to because he wanted to get immunity from the thing and them way he do, With my mom, go with the set of documents and things like that. So then he could expel himself from the matter we're going on right now with him, but then it's going hard, so he do that still.
Why you say that? Why are you going to be hard?
Because I see now this guy Jack now looking for different thing now for carry through the case. Sometimes
Jack Smith?
Jack Smith looking
the
now
special
because,
prosecutor?
Right?
The special no, he said that he voted going to look to see how we're going to
To deal with the matter.
to wind down the matter, to put it on, at the very least, to put it on hold. So nothing at all is going to happen. I mean, with that, those matters regarding the documents and so on, the classified documents for the next 4 years, for sure.
Yeah, but then what he looking at the two, because I had it on my phone, then I'm listening to them, that he looking for a card before Trump swearing.
No, it ain't gonna happen. I'm pretty confident about that. It ain't gonna happen. He would not be allowed. No, it wouldn't happen. You know the system in the United States. It wouldn't happen.
Yes, because what happened really? Trump been when the matter I'm going for here. Trump been asking for leaves and things for do certain things.
Yeah, well, he will push back, as much as he possibly could until November the 5th came around, and well, it has come around, and he got what he wanted. So that's where it is. The position of the position of the policy of the Department of Justice is that charges would not be brought against, or cases would not be brought against any sitting president. And right now, he would be treated in the same way as if he's a sitting president, having won the elections a couple of days ago, even though that it's not until January the 20th, 2025,
but
when he'll be formally elected.
Tell you too. That's what Jose going to tell you too. He ain't no president yet until January.
Yes, but
but let's be realistic. Let's be realistic. You think what Jolly said is not going to happen?
I listening for it.
Okay.
There's a standing policy with the Justice Department. Not,
yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Dealing with a sitting president.
Plus, even if the matter goes to the Supreme Court, what do you think will happen?
Well, you got this fella, the black guy, all of them people, the most of them is who we put me.
Yes.
Right. So and therefore,
they're gonna draw on it again until like the February.
No.
February now.
February 2020.
28,
29.
29, yeah.
29. So, but you know that Donald Trump said that, first of all, he has appointed his chief of staff, right? Susan Wiles. The next thing that is the Attorney General. And the criteria that I'm sure that he laid down to anyone who wants to be an Attorney General, virtually listen, your first order of business to respond to my wishes and so forth. And that is what, with regard to Jeff Sessions, he didn't do that. And that is why he got rid of Jeff Sessions. Now, this time around, whomever he selects, right? And I see there's a list of possible appointees that they're going to do his bidding. And as he indicated before the election, one of the first things to do, are going to fire Jack Smith.
All right, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Other people are trying to get in. So
okay, thank you.
Okay, Winston.
So you all right then. I was going to ask for your concluding statement, but it's all right.
Interesting. He wasn't listening to the program. He wasn't listening to us.
But we were talking about Trump. I thought he was. Yes, a number of people have been trying to come in, but the screen just looks strange to me. But I would invite you to call again, Kojo and Dr. Scott. I see you are trying to get in, so you can call us now if you want to respond. But yes, Winston made some interesting points. He's following the issue. But yes, Peter and he was on target in terms of the discussion where we were this morning. Although he said he had just tuned in. But in the meantime, there are some comments which I just want to have you guys respond to. Somebody, what is saying here? Cecil and team, when the rubber is hit the road, the main reason why Trump is back is because people felt that they are worse off now and getting I'll have to come back to that because the calls are now coming again. Good morning. Good morning. Am I doing this wrong? I hope not. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, we are hearing you.
In total fact,
But
something I've told you
this is, hold on. This is Kojo, right?
This is good. Yeah.
All right,
I haven't
Kojo.
talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, well, you talk to my
I
colleague.
say, in total fact, something, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but truth and fact, he's not totally up towards the legal problems because the state problems and then still could go forward. You know that?
Yes. But will they?
Because he's supposed to be. That's the point I'm saying. I'm saying he's not totally out of the woods, but I mean the state problem. No Supreme Court to stop that from happening. If the judge next week wants to sentence Trump to jail, the Supreme Court can't stop it.
Nobody can appeal. No,
right.
no, but can they? Oh, the sentencing is different because they've gone beyond that. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah. So he still could go to jail if they want to put him in jail.
But you think the judge would do that? Kojo?
Well, I'm just saying, he's still in jeopardy. They could give him. There must be some punishment that have to come out of it. I don't know what.
For which one?
What the level?
Maybe
the one he's supposed to be sentenced for the Bragg case, the other Bragg case, to store them.
Yes.
In New York.
And you're right, the New York one. He's supposed to be sentenced because the judge put it off until after the election.
The 26th of this month? The 26th, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So you're saying that he could...
Yeah, he could still do time. If the judge is a brave judge and he's a bad judge, he could say, well, Trump, I put you in jail for 2 years.
Well, trust me, there's not going to be a bad judge and a brave judge in this situation.
No, I'm of the same opinion with you. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm saying there have to be some kind of punishment. There must be something that they have to. You can't just throw it away like that. If there's a sentence and you just can't just simply say, okay, well, we found you guilty, but we're not going to put no punishment. And there has to be some kind of punishment.
It's an interesting.
You understand my point?
Yeah, fully. But it's an interesting situation, and we just got to wait and to see what's going to happen.
And that's what I'm waiting to see.
Yes.
How much the judge in that case is going to weigh probably his life, his
You're right, his life. Life, because a number of Trump supporters
there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mix up going on in that now with him now, because send him to jail, he could get backfire from some crazy Trump supporter, so I mean, in probation, you might say probation, but it's probation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see.
Yeah. Right. And then he's still at Georgia, still, Georgia still there too, So So there's not all is not gone with the legal system.
The only thing, remember that the Supreme Court made a ruling with regards to presidential immunity, and that could very well come into play.
But no. Yeah, but presidential immunity for things that when he was a president, the things in Georgia had nothing to do with him being a president.
All right.
He was a candidate.
Let's wait and see what's going to happen. All right.
Right.
Thanks for calling, Don, for chipping in
no problem.
into the discussion. Interesting. Yeah, I was reading the WhatsApp response contribution saying Trump was sorry. Let me go from the beginning. When the rubber hit the road, the main reason why Trump is back is because people felt that they are worse off now and getting even more desperate, and Trump offers them hope. I agree with that. Cost of living and housing are some of the main issues that affect people. The economy is strong, yet people can't buy food and find cheap housing. Unemployment is at its lowest in a long time, yet people wanted a change. Well, I agree with that, and especially the point you're making that the housing, cost of housing, food, gasoline, and those are the things that hit people on a daily basis. And that's what they looked at. And on the basis of which they made a decision. And the social situation made it even easier for them to make that decision, which is the point I was making. This person saying, Cecil, I want to offer a different take. Let me hear this different take. I think Joe Biden undermined her by his support of Israel in the bombing and mass killing of Palestinian people. Added to that, she refused to say she will move away from that policy. Yeah, that was there. And I agree with that. I agree. But the point is that the fundamentals, you cannot go away from the fundamentals. But the other things added and compounded the situation and made it easier for people to decide the way they voted. So, yes, my friend, I think that's basically, in my view, you're correct. Not to say that you're not correct, but I think there were some fundamentals which you also have to put uppermost in the discussion. We're still waiting to hear from Dr. Cliff Scott. I've been trying to reach us for the longest while, and we were not getting to him. So we're going to still invite him to make a call. So, gentlemen, yeah, those are some of the comments people are making.
Yeah, if Cecil and Pigeon, we can just shift gears a little bit.
Yes.
While
we have not yet talked fully about the implications for us in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Caribbean, because Trump made some pledges, which I believe he's going to hold to. He's going to hold to those pledges. For example, Jody mentioned it earlier, the aggressive mass deportation of non-documented immigrants in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he's going to hold to that. I believe he's going to put pressure, if not more, on Cuba and Venezuela in our region. And, we have to be concerned about what action he can take, or he might be willing to take. Don't forget when Obama was there and Obama moved to ease up and established closer ties with Cuba. When he came in, he disbanded that. And even as he's talking about immigrants and criminals and cooks coming in from Venezuela, right now, he has a commitment to his voters, his backers, that he's going to take action. So I'm fearful, I'm worried about what he might do in that respect. And in those two respects, the question of the deportation of undocumented Vincentians or Caribbean people, and the fact that he may take more aggressive action towards Cuba and Venezuela, I think we have to be worried about that. And that is that's my worry. At least that two of my worries.
And even the jobs that they hold would need to be filled.
Yes.
And I guess they can just turn to Eastern Europe or somewhere else and get the persons. Although you may feel now, well, okay, maybe the Hispanics have shifted towards my side, so therefore maybe we can selectively still find certain places in Latin America and how we can get them, provided that, of course, that they are supporting the Republicans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Trump's position is always they could come, but come legally.
Who control that? His administration.
The administration.
Yes. So I
I think that we also have to go back. I think it's available, Project 2025,
yeah.
that he said that he had nothing to do with it. But I believe at the same time, it has not, it's not on a different path from what Trump himself has been saying. So we may just have to look at that and see. If person get a chance to read at least an executive summary of the document, and you get a sense of what is coming down the pipeline.
Well, at the end of the day, the people in America would have to, they're the ones who would determine what the future would look like. And they must bear in mind, let's take this call and I'll come back to finish my thoughts. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning. Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning to you.
And pleasant good morning to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I know this program is, it's very important to St. Vincent and the region.
Tell us who's making the contribution now, so we confirm.
Well, for that, I think that's a safety concern.
No. Please. Let's be honest.
Safety.
Mr. Ryan,
you think
I respect you.
But you know me. You know my name, Joel, Pigeon, other people who are listening. Let me finish. Other people who are listening may not know here, but at least let us establish a basis for interacting. That's all. Respectfully.
Well, and I respect what you're saying, but for safety concern, I'm saying, because maybe I might say something that somebody disagree with, and people who hold malices in St. Vincent.
No. Vincentians are no different from other people in the world. They don't hold malices unnecessarily. So let's not use that as a basis. Right. My friend, right.
Yes,
let's not waste time. Okay. Let's not waste time on this. Just tell us who is calling. That's all. Simple.
Okay. My name is David. I think it's a safety issue.
Well, great, David. Let's move on from there. We're happy to have you on the program and for you to make a contribution, David. So go ahead.
Okay. One of the reasons for my call is that we are here spending so much time on the issue in the United States with the election, but we have so many ills, including so many crimes that happened within the same week when Trump was elected, and I have not heard anyone talk about it.
You have not waited long enough.
Well, I would think that should have been more. It should have been just earlier.
You don't think you should give us? You don't think you should give us respect as the producers of the program? We decide where we're going to begin, and other issues would come in. You don't think you need to give us that respect?
Yes, and I know it's your program, but I'm saying as Vincentians, those are concerns to us because I have family members.
All right. So give us one issue that is of concern to you, and let's begin from there.
One issue of concern,
to you,
crime issue.
All right.
And to me and my family, because you asked me to get, to listen.
But just go ahead. We're waiting for you to go ahead. That's all.
And I am, but you're interrupting me instead of letting me speak freely. The crime issue is one of the number one concern for me and my family. There are so many ills that are happening when it comes to crime. People are getting killed. We just had 2-3 people get shot up in a mountain, and I have not heard the authorities addressing those issues. We are having people killed in all different areas of our island, and no one is stepping forward and say, "Well, let's look into this." I'm not saying that they can stop crime because I'll be ignorant to think that anyone could stop crime, whether it's the police or thing, because if people made up their mind that they want to do something, it's going to happen. But I think we have to have a plan, we have to address it head on, and we have to make people feel comfortable and safe. I'll being honest with you. I have family members who are afraid to leave the houses after dark because of what is
Which
happening
houses?
in our
Where?
country.
In what area? In what they afraid to
Well,
live
I'm
in?
not going to do that. I mean, come on, seriously? Are you going to be like that, Mr. Ryan?
You say you have family
Seriously?
members, but what area? I live in St. Vincent.
But
I'm
why
here
should
now.
I say-
Hello,
I mean,
hello,
But
hello.
yes, sir. Yes,
I
I'm
want
listening.
our listeners to be very clear and to understand what you're saying. You just said that you have family members who are afraid to leave their houses. That's not what you said?
Yes.
As far as I am aware, and I don't know if my colleagues here would say if they know of any particular area in St. Vincent and the Grenadines where people are afraid to leave their houses. You say you know, so I'm asking you to say where. I don't know of any place.
But that would be, I mean, come on, that would be irresponsible of me to tell you what area and where it is. I mean,
My friend, you came on the program. Hold on. You are on this program and you're making the claim that your family members, I don't know where they are, but they are afraid to leave their houses. And as far as I know, and my colleagues could speak to it, there's no place in St. Vincent where people are afraid to leave their houses. But you have to back up the point you're making.
I think you just listen to your program. If you listen to other program, you would hear. And I'm telling you, there are people who are afraid. No, you see, that's what. Once you have a different point of view, you don't want to hear, and you don't allow people to talk, and that is not good for a host.
But my friend, you're talking. My friend, you've been talking for almost 5.5, almost 6 minutes. You're talking.
But you keep interrupting, and you got to give me a chance.
So you think this is a program where you come and make? Hold on. You think this is a program where you come and make statements which are questionable, and I shouldn't question you about the seriousness of what you're saying and the genuineness of what you're saying? This program is not like that. If you come on here, you're allowed to come on here anytime you want. But when you come and make statements, you have to be able to back up your statement. That's all.
So I must tell you what constituency, what area my family members live, and they're afraid to walk out. As I've been mentioned, there are things that are happening. The people are afraid to walk the streets at night.
My friend, call another program and say that. I'm sorry, you're not willing to. You call another program and say that. We don't have that information. I don't know that. My colleagues, I'm sure, don't know that. Well, I shouldn't say I'm sure. They could speak for themselves. But I'm not going to allow you to make that kind of statement on the program. That's a very irresponsible statement you're making. I'm sorry. Yeah. Somebody just responded. I want to share it with him and others who may be listening likewise. Tell that guy that thousands of people went out to show last night. Well, I don't know about that, but that's what this person is saying. Thousands more went out to the Independence Parade. That I can confirm. I agree with that one. We discussed that sometime last week, I think it was. What is this guy speaking about? If he has family members in the crime syndicate, then he should report them to the police. Well, I don't know. I don't want to go there. But I'm just reading that WhatsApp that came in from somebody. So obviously that person don't share your view, my friend. That is David. You gave your name as David. So anyway. And then somebody saying people are afraid to come out. Their house did not see the park last night. Oh, this person making the same statement, supporting the earlier WhatsApp I just read. He's saying people are afraid to come out. Their house did not see the park last night. In other words, the park, I don't know. Guys, what happened in the park last night? What took place in the park last night? I don't know.
Concert Rise Reggae.
Oh, so it was properly supported?
Very much so.
Okay.
And acts like Romeo and Diego.
Okay, well there you go. David, you need to check these guys. He was quoting what people say on our show, on other shows. Yes, we are aware of other shows and what some people say on those shows, but we don't necessarily agree with those voices on those other shows, and we certainly except we have people speaking from authority. We don't echo them on this show. If it's an authoritative statement, yes, we would talk about them, and reproduce it. But once we're not sure, no, my friend. So you could listen to your other shows and the voices, but they won't be repeated here. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning to the panel.
Good morning to you.
The Providence, the Ryan, and Mr. John.
Yes, Miss.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Sister.
You are?
Sister speaking. Sister speaking.
Hey, sister. Greetings.
Hi, sister. I'm trying to
How
make the
you doing?
connection
Hi.
between sister. Sister is from Honoursville, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Oh, that sister. All right. Welcome to the program.
Yeah. I just heard the gentleman was speaking there. You know, I sat outside and I said to myself, ain't nobody could stop crime. The only person to stop crime is the man Christ Jesus. He just has to get into these minds of these people and let them make a turnaround. Ain't nobody could stop crime. And these people who are having these killings and whatever, they have to know. Because if I do you something, Mr. Ryan, or you do me something, and I want to get you, don't care where you are, I am going to find you. Is that true? Once I need to get you. Okay? So it's nobody can stop crime. And you see where Mr. Trump is? Mr. Trump is there for revenge. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, it's still morning. Thanks for calling. Okay. Well, she's saying that Trump is there. She's saying that Trump is there for revenge. I don't know about that one. But yeah, Joe.
Yeah, I just basically want to say that I don't necessarily share everything that David said, and I don't necessarily share everything that Sister said, and so on. And in terms of David's comment, first of all, we discussed the different topics. We started off very much early in the program. We started off talking about the U.S. election, but there are other options available to us. We still have other issues to talk about, and plus, that is why we have persons to calling and so on. And on the question of crime is indeed an important issue to the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, particularly in relation to murders and so on. So it is an issue, and it is something that issue at hand will not, ought not to, should not ignore, because it is something of concern, and it's an issue at hand, and so on. But the point about whether or not it has got to the stage where persons are afraid to, and I assume with no place mentioned, to walk out at night and so forth, I don't know where that is. I think that's
what I was asking.
Right. So, but if there is a particular community A or community B, then certainly David should be in a position to indicate where it is and so on. Then we can discuss that. I mean, we can collect more information going forward for another program, and we can continue to raise it. So it is a question, yes, that crime is indeed an issue. It is an issue at hand of national significance, and many persons have spoken about it. The Prime Minister has spoken about it, the leader of the opposition and the opposition have spoken about it. Pretty much most radio talk show programs have spoken about the issue and so on. And that is why I come round now to Sister's comment, more or less giving the impression that, well, boy, crime is what it is, and we can't stop crime. And so, yes, we say that you will always have some elements of crime because we're not living in a kind of a utopian society and so forth. But I think it is the responsibility of all the relevant institutions and the people of any society to do what it can to minimize the extent at which crime is committed in a particular country, including, and I'm speaking specifically of St. Vincent and Grenadines. So we have to do whatever we can. And if what can be done on this program is speak to the issue, by all means, we can speak to the issue. But in the meantime, there are other issues as well.
And so let's get to those other issues, which is we were at the point when I took the call, that particular call, Jerry, you were about to, because you were about to go on. But I just want to say that in terms of the issues, the issue that we started with, the results of the U.S. elections, we can sum up on that one and perhaps come back to it later. But right now, I think you have some other issues. And I notice that people are trying to get into the program right now, but I would rather conclude on this particular issue of the results of the U.S. election and then go on to the other issues, including crime, if that's one of them that you have to raise this morning. But I'd rather not have people call in to respond to this particular guy. I'm sorry, to David's comments, because it's not going to define the rest of the program for sure. But let's take one or two calls coming in. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, hello, good morning. I want to know what we're doing with the fragrance, them, but they are on the road nagging people like that. I want to see ball in the middle of the road, people passing.
You hadn't, first of all, you didn't share with us who you are. You care to?
My name is Selma.
Selma?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Selma, you had an encounter recently with one of the vagrants?
Hello?
Did you have an encounter with a vagrant anytime?
All the time.
Oh, okay. And you haven't reported it to the police, have you?
The police ain't doing nothing. They might just talk to them and then they go where they go in or whatever.
When was the last time you had an encounter?
Up to Thursday.
This Thursday gone?
Yes.
In Kingston?
Yeah. It's around. You know me. I sell food.
Yeah, okay, but all right. I may know you, and I believe I know you, but still, that's the encounter with the vagrant is
all around my business. They come in when people come to buy.
Oh, that's my friend outside the building that used to.
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right. So you've had encounters with them regularly?
Regular, very regular.
And you've reported to the police?
I speak to police already, like when they pass in.
Well, I don't know, guys. Any advice for a friend there? What you might do?
They usually sleep. Some of them usually sleep under the market. As they push the market door, they are there.
It is
really ridiculous, and they keep nagging people. They don't take no for answer.
Oh, okay. I'm sure a lot of other people may have had the same experience as you encountered all the time.
And I got very much mad people on the road too. They ain't doing nothing with them.
Yeah, Joel, you were about to.
Yeah, I think it is a problem. I can't tell you whether or not it has gotten worse in recent times as compared to 5 years ago or 7 years ago, and so on. But it is a problem, and I know this has been discussed before, and it is not a straightforward case for the police to just pick up someone and remove them like that, and so on. But at the same time, if there is some degree of disturbing the peace, interfering with other person, and so on, there are things that can be done.
Some of them smell so awful.
Did you say something about when tourists pass? Did you say something?
Yeah, all that too. They're nagging them. They don't take no for answer.
Yeah, and then of course, where they sleep, there's still derelict buildings in Kingston where they sleep and so forth. And they actually need help,
That's
they have mental challenges and so on, and we really have to try and see what we can do to help them.
Yeah.
But it's must be done from an institutional standpoint.
Well, I don't know which department of which government, which ministry and which department should reach out. I think that's the issue here. Not necessarily police, but
I believe maybe
social
it's-
welfare. I don't
maybe
know.
it's a combination from the social welfare, Ministry of Health, and Ministry of National
Yeah.
Security as well. And maybe it's a combination of ministries that should come together and have a sort of a task force to deal with it. And so it is a problem, but it's not a problem to say that, look, we must take these persons up and then we put them behind God, like as we would say, and so forth. We have to try and address their deep-rooted issues.
My friend, have you discussed it with other any department in,
No, not
in
really.
government?
Not
So
really.
you're just raising it now on
Not
the program. Well, I would find out, and I would share your experience and what you're saying now. I would try to reach the appropriate department and appropriate ministry and raise it again. But I'm sure
tourists them sometimes like the visitors them like if they scared of them and all them kind of thing.
All right, well,
they want to touch you and all that.
I'm glad you raised it on the program, and we will undertake to find and share your concern with the appropriate ministry and department. All right.
All right.
Thanks for
All
calling,
right,
and have a good
thank
day. Have a good day. Yeah. Somebody is saying here. The genesis of crime starts with the one who is committing the crime. Self-control and self-resolution are some of the main causes of crime. Well, I don't know if we're going to get back into the discussion, but I would rather somebody who is, I don't know, we're not really discussing crime as a particular issue today. Perhaps we can program it for some other time, guys. I don't know except you want to comment on it.
No, it's a complex, complicated issue, and I think that we can take it as it comes, or you can certainly have the experts in the area and who know what's happening on the ground, who can speak to it directly, but we should also be able to take it as it comes.
Have a call. Good morning. Welcome to the program. Yes. Could you move?
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
It's Lavon.
Hi, Lavon. Greetings.
On everybody. Mr. Ryan, when they ready go, Ralph Peter say, hey, it's
No,
Ralph.
let's not.
I know. I done it now.
Yeah, but he may not be. He may not.
Guy, he hate Ralph like nothing.
I don't know who he is.
I don't know.
I don't know who he
That's why
is.
they not want to give his name because you know me and he'll have it down.
But let's not have it down with him.
Reason why.
Well, let's not have it down with him to the program this morning. Let's just.
So you better mind your business and don't mind our own.
No, Lavon, no. All right, thanks for calling.
All right.
Good. Have a good day. No, we don't want to encourage that kind of interaction, caller to caller and certainly caller to host. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't advance the issue, understanding of the issue. Certainly doesn't advance the image of the program. So we want to do that. But at the same time, we want to deal with issue in an authoritative way. Not because you hear something on the street or on a program doesn't make it correct, and it doesn't make it official. So we just want to deal with that from the point of view of our program. Joel, I'm not sure if you were making a point or you wanna.
Yeah, I wanted to speak about something else that I saw from One News this morning about the fact that a cruise ship was not able to dock in Kingston today. It was making one single.
Joel, can you just hold? There's a call. Let's take it and then we'll come back to deal with that. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mr. Ryan and Mr. Providence and I can't remember the name.
Mr. John, Philbert, or P. John.
P. John.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good.
P. John.
But who is greeting us?
What's that?
Who is greeting us?
Lucy Hutchinson.
Lucy, thank you for calling and welcome to our program.
Yes. I don't call in very often. I think this is about the second time.
Well, you should call more often. This second time
Okay.
not
I
good
heard
enough.
you. I heard you.
Okay.
I heard you. But sometimes circumstances beyond cases.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Anyway, my brother or my brothers, this issue of crime starts from the home. The home is responsible for these people that are carrying on these things. The parents don't have no time to teach their children about the Lord anymore. They get up in the morning, they leave them sleeping, and they go on to work, and they wake up when they want. They're not helping anything in the home. They don't have any responsibility, and that is one of the issues we have in this country right now. That is what making minds cannot think properly. And there's where we have the problem. So we have to get these problems straightened before we can get people that are concerned about other people. That is important. And I gone.
You go. Hold on.
Nice
Hold on. Providence want to interact with you.
Oh no, I just wanted to say something to Lucy that I would like to see Lucy sometime this week about a sort of a semi-personal matter.
Okay.
And I'll give you a call, Lucy. Has to do with our past work life.
So Lucy, you're a known person on the program. You sung so. At least one of us know you.
No, we work together.
Yeah.
We work
Somebody
together.
they would know me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull you back. It's all right.
Yeah.
I'll give you a call, Lucy.
All right, my dear.
All right. Have a good day.
Have a nice day.
You too.
And thank everything.
All right then.
Bye.
Thanks for calling. Yes. Sorry, Charlie, you're making the point.
Yes, so we got the word that a car boat had maybe prevented a cruise ship from docking at the cruise ship pier. And as a result, the cruise ship decided to leave. And they said they weren't going to anchor in the harbor and use tenders to bring their passengers ashore. So they just simply left. So that was business. That was, though I see there's a report from one online paper. Maybe there are other reports. No, it didn't indicate exactly what had transpired. It didn't say that there was damage to the cruise ship pier, right? But it said that at least it was there and couldn't move in time to allow the cruise ship to dock. Maybe more information can be had, and but certainly it may very well be something that has great implications for the cruise industry, depending on if there's damage and what has transpired, and certainly there are some persons who would have lost revenue today and so on. But maybe someone can call in and give us a better.
Minister Brown, who's responsible for port, she may wish to just to kind of give a clearer picture on what happened, what has happened, and what it means. She may or may not be in a position to give a full account, but
yes.
Rather than us speculating, it'd be good to hear from Minister Brown if she's fully informed or advised of the situation. Certainly if she's on top of it. So Minister Brown, I don't know if you might not be listening to our program this morning, but if you are, or anybody who knows Minister Brown, she may wish to give us a call, to give us an update on the situation.
And if anyone from who was in the cruising business who expected to work today, and maybe they might have some information that is not it's remotely related, and so on, what are the implications and so on to them, and maybe they might wish to share a word or two as well.
In the meantime, another WhatsApp from somebody who sees saying, Cecil, you noticed that crime never was an issue in the elections in America, where crime is most important. That guy lives in the USA. Crime was not an issue in the USA elections. Sorry for this. Oh, okay. It was an issue in the recent UK elections. It wasn't, sorry, he's saying, it wasn't an issue in the recent UK elections either. All right. Yeah, good observation. Well taken. We can move on from there. Okay. All right. So there are other issues we want to raise this morning. Pigeon and Joel, we're kind of relying on both of you. In the meantime, we didn't hear from Dr. Scott. He was trying to come in, and at the time, the lines were engaged. So, Dr. Scott, if you're still interested to make your contribution to our earlier discussion, we're very pleased to have you call us at any time. All right. So, in the meantime, other persons who wish to contribute to the program, you're welcome to. And the only thing we have is
give the number.
Yes, I will. 457-9994 is the number to call, both WhatsApp and the regular line. And you can make. What did I? 994?
Yeah.
Oh, 997. Sorry, 457-9997 is the number to call. 457-9997 to call to make your contribution. Yes, Joel?
I have an issue. It may not seem to be a major issue to many persons, who, especially those who live on the leeward side of St. Vincent and Grenadines, but it's something that I've been observing recently, and it has to do with traffic and traffic in the Annisville area, and especially between, say, the hours of 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon until, say, 5:36. Now, things have been changing in St. Vincent and Grenadines in terms of commuting and so forth. And if you notice now that there is a buildup of traffic, in the past, there's a buildup of traffic going to Kingstown, maybe starting from Indian Bay, maybe up on Rose Cottage, sometimes, then down into Annisville as they get into Kingston. You used to have the congestion was great at the roundabout, and then you pass Sunrise and so forth. We created the road across the runway and the tarmac, the E.T. Joshua, and things ease somewhat, right, and so forth. Now, on afternoons, there's a reverse situation where the traffic slowed down, where persons coming out of town. But if you're going into town, let's say at 4:30 in the afternoon, it wasn't a problem, say 10 years ago or 8 years ago. Now there's congestion of traffic both ways. You're coming from Castle Hill at 4:30, or you're coming from Indian Bay, same thing. And it seems as if the problem meets right in one particular location, and that is at the eastern or southeastern side of the tarmac, which where you I normally would say like the Dr. Rao or Option Supermarket and so on. You know where I'm talking about.
Yes, of course, because I experienced it myself.
Yes, and so on. And there's a buildup of traffic there. And I'm just saying that, we could have anticipated that this problem would have occurred. Now, but I can't tell you honestly what is the solution for immediate solution, but it is not going to get better, it's going to get worse and so forth. And now what is happening as a result? There are vans and other vehicles now, what they're doing coming from the windward side, they are actually taking the Villa Fountain Road, right? And they're coming out at, say, at Fountain, and I'm talking about at 4:30, and it's a mad dash and so forth. And I'm fearful that there's going to be a problem. In fact, it creates a congestion now at that Fountain Gap where persons who want to take that road that goes over to Fair Hall and so forth. And there is more than likely sometimes it's a disaster waiting to happen and so forth. So it is a problem because persons are all trying to get away from this congestion at the end of the VG stretch, where you have the options and what I refer to, and the Dr. Rao and so forth, that area. So that's a problem right there. And I do not know what exactly, to be honest, I can't tell you what is the solution. But I think it's something that needs to be addressed because it is getting worse and there's major congestion from both sides. Whether you're heading towards Kingston or whether you're heading towards the countryside, it's a problem and it needs to be addressed. I am glad to, well, first of all, I'm first asking where these persons are commuting from the windward side, so from Rattermill, Prospect, Villa, and so on. Where are they coming from at 4:30 heading towards Kingston? But the buildup is there, and maybe it is good that if persons live elsewhere, but they're working in Calico, Rattermill, or even as Argyle, maybe it's a good thing because decentralization of places of work is good, and that's one of the solutions. But we still need to address the traffic bottleneck, particularly as it happens at this particular junction there. And there's police position there, but I don't think that the police can help the situation right now. And I would love if someone who understands the situation better than I do right now, if they can actually calling and say, well, this maybe is the solution to that. Because it is I'm sure that persons who are listening to this program now who would have found themselves in that situation would perhaps share my views.
And in fact, Joel, it's going to get worse when the hospital, acute referral hospital opens next year. It's going to get far worse.
Next year?
Well,
no,
we want
32 months.
Well, all right. 32 months would take us away. I'm not sure. I haven't done my calculation.
Well, see if you don't want to say 2.5 years, but okay. Basically that will take us into 2026.
Right.
Late.
But in any event, that problem would get worse when that happens.
Yes.
So there must be some kind of thinking and planning in terms of traffic control in the whole of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but particularly that very spot that you have identified.
And then when the ambulances want to come through.
Well, that's the point, yeah? Do we have a call? Let's take it. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well, it's so much thing going on and you had solution. The lady speaks about the parenting.
Share with us now. Share with us. Share with us whose voice this is now. Joseph. All right, my friend. Cornelius, Joseph. Thanks for calling. Yeah. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, the sheriff, John here, the old sheriff.
Okay.
Yeah, what the lady said, so perfect, so right. So the parents, brothers and sisters in the home, and people steal from another, buy from people, and do people are witness that because of crime. So the police and government over the world can start. They need to train them in the home. So take people thing and keep people thing and do people thing, and then people will do your back. The Prime Minister just said that. When them kill people, people look back to kill them back, brothers and sisters, and wherever they say that when you open things, they say that all the time. Either jail or they kill them back. The next problem with you say with the traffic day. You start work at 8, some people could start work at 11 or 12 when you get the system shift to vehicles slow. Solution in the country. Lady want to get the vagrant off? Believe my Prime Minister was in opposition. Something now with this opposition is so weak.
Come on, Cornelius. That has nothing to do with the opposition, man.
I mean, all you have to come out and say you build something and catch guys on the road, you run to them.
They're human beings. They can't do. Yeah, human beings. They have relatives, and they have their own.
Yeah, you got relatives that stop them from kill people and do stuff. Some of them want and kill 3-4 people, knock down people some time ago, and them kind of thing. You have to be serious.
A vagrant that happened. A vagrant did that.
Knock down people, kill 2-3 them some time ago, Mr. Ryan. They're serious, man.
No, I don't recall that. So I'm asking. I don't know, guys. You guys.
That they use one of them knock down some people in some people and all kind of thing. You need to build a place and they food with prisoners and whoever cook food and care for them can't come out. You got places where they sleep and place where they bathe and thing like a pool in the just where they live. I like communists really. Understand?
You like what?
Communist.
That has nothing to do with communism.
Well, I like that because the democracy can't beat them, so I have to join them. Lot of things need to change and happen and do. Plenty things need to do. Understand? Plenty things need to straighten up and easy to do.
All right.
You ever get on to cable wireless or digital to ask what day in every month for people who call on the radio for their studio every month? You don't have to pay. People call day and night, they got program day and night.
So you think we should...
ever get on to digital to ask what day?
Well, maybe we should... You're making a suggestion and we'd consider it. You're making... No, you're making a suggestion and we will consider it.
No, we partner call it and see what people can go.
Well, I don't know if he's from Beckway, I don't know.
Well, the one call and tell him and always be on the radio. And them who are humble Friday right set right now who win next election. And they humble Friday. Because they talk with Nancy story people are go there right through.
Well, hold on. Cornelius. Joel raised the matter and somebody is responding on WhatsApp. And if you don't mind, if you can hold on if you wish, but let me just read it just in case. Joel has to go shortly. In fact, anytime now, but I want to read the comment if in case he wants to respond. Just hold on. It says, Joel, on that topic, meaning the traffic thing, I think, Joel, in the morning, the vans and private vehicles use CK Graves car park as a roundabout to get across the tarmac. And they sometimes go through there so fast, it is unsafe to walk in the car park going to the supermarket. Any response, Joel, just before you go?
Yes, and that's a problem. They also use other routes as well to try and bypass the traffic congestion and speeding and so on. It's a problem with the vans. They didn't want to raise this with the vans. They also come in the back from where the police has its garage, and there's a cut through what they create their own shortcut. They come behind where
Cornelius is still there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just hold on for
yeah. So they have their own routes and so on. Even with the time in the corner cross now, they have created for themselves their paths through the grass just above the Thomas Sanders School, and so on to try and bypass those commuters who would want to be orderly and stay in the line. So it is getting problematic and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, there are other contributions, but I'll just go to them while they lead. So, all the best. Yeah. All right, Cornelius, we're back with you. We're back with you. Go ahead.
One day, what the best is the drivers on the road, most of them. And I just use that too. But you need pedestrians. Police just tell them you have to wait and what, and some of them cross anyhow. The police are push back some like we go. It used to do and call the traffic and the traffic free to come and the police are call traffic and them still across. What about some go over in town for the younger people and the old people go use the crossing? Some of development, Mr. Ryan, you send some man like Pigeon and Joel, then how you educated.
So what would you want us to do? What would you want Pigeon and Joel and myself to do?
Well, you got the media there to speak. You need some walkovers in town for the younger people and the older people who are supposed to go and crossing.
Well, you're speaking, and the same people would be hearing you just as they hear Pigeon's voice, Joel's voice, and my voice.
You more closer to fight. If some girls was in that position, now we just push some real ideas to think that he man with the ideas, but Some of
All
them
right.
fellas are weak and crazy.
So you have aired those concerns, and I'm sure the others and people who are responsible will respond.
People and
All right.
them go down. And then
All right.
thing that the people do is problem in the country.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing your views. I wanted to read this before Joel left, but we have another call and we'll get back to that. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Mr. Ryan, it's me again. You remember that story where the guy talked about the guy who killed Lance? Lance used to be on the gallery there for Central Market.
Oh, yes.
He knock out Lance. He knock out a guy with an eye, and then he go after my nephew.
Mm-hmm.
And because when he got car park, my nephew walk up car park, and then he went up there and he said, try with a bicycle. And he was going after the little boy with a piece of iron, and then my nephew go and intercede, and he tried to knock out my nephew. My nephew fight to them until he gets soul and damage. And then police come and take him up. And then the same thing again happened again because my nephew now the Central Market, and there's a next guy came into the market harassing tourists, and the vendors and them gonna take it. They went into running him. He not going. And when my nephew go up to him, talking to, he spit by my nephew. Still my nephew ain't doing nothing. Them after he did it going on, he told them get in an entangle. And right now my nephew's in court with this guy. All because he tried to tell him go out of the market and stop harass tourists. All because of that. And he right now is in court with my nephew and the same guy, a vagrant guy.
Well, you and the others before you have raised the matter front on, and we will undertake to do some further checking on who is responsible. Hold on. Yeah. I'm
and
making.
when them say they're not giving them, they mean they're not moving.
Okay, so you have raised.
Okay.
You all have raised it, and we will undertake to go further and urge those who are responsible, meaning whichever ministry and whichever department, that they really need to look into the matter. It's really gone beyond serious. All right, so I was about to read a message from somebody who shared on the traffic situation. He says, there used to be the same traffic congestion problem at the roundabout before the tarmac was available to traffic. In fact, the tarmac was open to alleviate this traffic problem. The problem has shifted south to the bottom of VG from the top of VG at the roundabout. But I don't think that is, that too, but that was not the particular spot that Joel was referring to in terms of, it's at the point where you turn to go down to the Arnesville playing field, off the main road into that which is now become another main, the road across the runway, the old decommissioned Arnesville runway. So that is the point that Joel was referring to, but it extends up to the roundabout particularly for the vans and traffic coming from those who are taking the Villa Fountain bypass. So the whole thing the traffic situation needs to be solved. I don't know if studies have been done, but I think it has to go beyond the police. So people who study traffic, the way traffic move, the management of traffic, I think we are at that point now where we need somebody who has, the broadest possible knowledge of the flow of traffic, the management of traffic, to assist the situation. And I hope that's where we're going, because as Joel said and others agree, it's not going to be better. It's going to be worse going forward, especially when we have the extent of development that is happening now across the country, in particular, the same runway area where we have just started the referral, the acute referral center. Construction has started, and when it's completed, and traffic increase, that point is going to get worse. And well, considering what happened on the other side in terms of development coming from the Argyle International Airport to Diamond area and into Kingston, attention needs to be given to the whole traffic situation. Not only at that point, but it needs to be given to the situation. And somebody is saying here, the Minister of Works said recently a ring road solution is being studied for the area, which will accommodate the hospital being built now. Well, good news. If I didn't hear him, I know there was consideration being given to the bridge, the old bridge across which a lot of the traffic flow to the Joshua Center and onto the main road from Villa. So that's welcome news if the minister said that there's going to be a ring road, so which means it's under active consideration. Well, Joel, I don't know if Joel knows about that. I certainly didn't know of this announcement by the minister, but it's good to know. So that might be the area of the solution that Joel talked about. Yeah. So there we are, Pigeon. In terms of the issues for today, we talk about the Trump effect, the Trump victory, and the Trump victory effect on our part, but for people in America and our part of the world and the rest of the world for that matter. In fact, the rest of the world have started to react to it. They're positioning themselves for when Trump becomes, when he's inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States. So if they are, then we ourselves need to do likewise. I mean, we in the Caribbean, but we have a call. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good afternoon, Cecil. How are you?
I'm good. And you?
Good. Frankie Brown.
Hi, Frankie. We have Pigeon still here also. Joel left, but
yeah, Pigeon. How are you, Pigeon?
Hi, good man.
Good to hear from you. I'm supposed to call you on a personal matter, but I will deal with that sometime afterwards.
You know, in terms of the traffic, right? Now, if you make coming across the airport a one-way and evening times, right? So when you come from country, you go straight across, right? Now, when you turn to go on the main road, you're on your hand. But you see, when you have to cross over in the evening, you're coming from town and you have to cross over on the windward side. That is where the problem develops, because you have to stop the traffic that you have to stop the traffic that going across that coming across the airport. Mm-hmm. So now if you just make it one way, so when you come from windward, you drive straight across the tarmac. And evening you go around the roundabout and come down. So there is no turning into the islands really, because the majority of traffic that come there will be going on the windward side. So it's the crossing of the lane that causes the problem. The holding of the traffic.
But you don't think, Frankie, that the nature of our development, that the pace at which development is taking place in the country right now and throughout the country, you don't think there needs to be an overall traffic study, which would take into consideration that point? You don't think we're at that stage now?
We need that. We need some walkover, because when you check out highway trading, like what used to happen morning time, is that a lot of the people that come from the country that go into the Mexico school, they would come down from the countryside, stop on highway, and have to cross the road. And that causes a lot of congestion there.
You mean the students have to cross the road?
Yeah. Students. And even people that walk in Mexico side. So if you build a crossover there, it will stop that problem.
Yes.
Because the traffic will be slow all the time. And evening time, there are a lot of people there waiting on vans.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build a crossover there, it would aid in the smooth flow of the traffic.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a pedestrian overbridge, yeah.
Yeah.
But Frankie, don't you think? Yeah, I understand the point, and to some extent I agree. But you don't think we need an overall study of the situation?
We need that. We need some more lanes, but it because of the way I mean, it will be something very expensive because government will have to acquire a lot of properties because the roads are not wide enough, and even in areas where government has reserve, people are tending to build out into the reserve to sort of protect their property because you figure if they bung with the road and there's a 10-foot reserve between the road and their property, sometimes they bring the fence right out to the road. So these are things that we have to stop when we develop new roads. Make sure that we police it properly and people stick within the boundary. They don't build and reserve all the shacks and so forth because a lot of people, once they're reserved, they're going to set up shops and those other things. So we have to try and prevent those things.
But those actions...
So in the event that they want to widen the road, you would have that reserve.
Those actions might be necessary, but not sufficient in my view. And we, given what Joel earlier raised, and I agree, and a lot of people now know, that we got to think like 10 years and 20 years ahead, because the situation is not going to get easier. It's going to become more complex.
Yeah, it's going to get easier.
And therefore, we need to plan for it, even in terms of the traffic situation. Yes, I hear you, and I'm aware of some of the situation that you're referring to, where people bring their properties right boundary the road, and some people do it also to protect. But government, in my view, has, given what we're seeing happening in terms of development and the pace of it, government needs to take proactive kind of measures to ensure that we plan for the future better than we're doing now. But I understand the point you're making, and I certainly agree in terms of temporary.
Well, in terms of diamond, I see they're doing it now. They're trying to create another lane out there.
Oh,
so
is that what? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Where exactly? Where exactly at Diamond are they doing that?
No, going into this solid waste area.
Oh, yeah. I think I made some observation there myself. Yeah, but yeah.
But where you have margin traffic, the government will have to try and create another lane so that the vehicle could margin, start a margin. Instead of everybody waiting, it's at a margin. And it would help. But it would be a very expensive thing because
but it can be phased.
Yeah,
but it can be phased over the next 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. It can be phased.
Yeah,
and we would have to do that.
No, we'd have to do that.
There's no choice.
To do that, definitely. Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of people coming in every year. You got to put some kind of, but you don't want to do that tariff and those other things to prevent it, but you don't want to do something like that.
Okay.
Because the number of vehicles keep increasing all the time. I mean, some homes have everybody driving.
Even as you're speaking now, and Joel made mention of a vehicle boat, that is in Port Kingston right now, and they have a problem. But even as we're speaking, more cars are coming in.
Yeah.
More vehicles anyway, not cars. More vehicles.
Yeah. The other thing to Cecil, what I think should be happening, I think the vans and them should always be on the main road. All them shortcut and things they cut in, they should try and cut them out. Because it's creating a serious hazard in that they racing through. When they reach the gap on them, they don't want to wait. They're coming straight out in the road. You understand? Even without you giving them the right away. They just break in the traffic, come straight out into the road.
So that's something for immediate action by the traffic department. That's what you're saying. The police need to take immediate action. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with you.
Stick on their route, the main road. So all going across the tarmac, no van should go across the tarmac. Certain areas.
Yeah.
Stick on the route. All coming to Villa Fountain Road, except you have, because as Bobby said, it's becoming a problem because you live in Playhall, you know. When you going home and you turn in, sometimes the number of vans you see coming today, and it hold up the traffic.
But Frankie, suppose they're driving through there to drop off or pick up their passengers. How can you present an argument against that?
You know, well in certain places like Trinidad and them places, there are certain places that the public transport don't go. People catch taxi.
Yeah, well, I agree. I know that, but I'm raising that point because there needs to be established a routing situation where vans are allowed to travel on a particular route, so that, which is what happens in other countries, only in St. Lucia, in Barbados, and Trinidad. But what you have, but what you have is a do as you see fit, random kind of thing, reckless sometimes. But I understand the point, and I'm sure people who are listening understand and agree with you.
Jamaica, once them guys catch you off the route, I mean, when I study out there, and them traffic want to catch you off the route, it's serious fine. It's fine, you know.
Yes.
You know? So, I mean, the government would have to, as I say, do some studies where we could widen the road, widen it, put in margin lane and those sort of things, and try to control the vans and them, because they create the most problem on the road. Most problem on the road.
And the time for that is now. That's what you're saying.
Time for that is right now. They got to take action. I mean, some people would get upset and things, but the majority of the traveling public would be satisfied.
But it's also in the interest of safety and responsibility and all those things. That's what I'm hearing.
And even the insurance and them too.
Yes.
When you get when you insure a van, I think would really help out in that, because you know the route, because some of them guys, when they're walking in Villa and them things, Villa and the Gaja or something, it's endless speeding going out there. The racing going out there and come back down. You know?
Well, I'm sure people have made the observation, not only you yourself, but other people have made the observation. And I'm sure you would find agreement among a lot of people who are listening to the program.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah.
And your suggestions.
Yeah, and you're going to shout me whenever.
Yes, I will. All right.
Nice.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Okay. Pijan, you didn't come in on that exchange?
There's not much I could say because I basically agree with everything.
No,
and the point you're making, I think there's definitely a need for a comprehensive study. Perhaps more than the roads, but the entire physical configuration of the country to address development issues.
We have a caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good afternoon, and how are you?
I'm well, and you?
Okay, I'm okay. Enjoying the rain on my side.
Oh, you're good. You're blessed. You're having rain.
Yeah, Susan Alexander on the hill.
On the hill. Well, there's so many hills in St. Lucia.
Green Hill.
Oh, Green Hill, the green one.
Yeah.
And well, the whole country is green. The whole country, all the hills in the country, right?
So you're more than Susan today, Susan Alexander.
Yeah. I want to congratulate all for you during the past month.
I was going to raise that.
Especially the contingent from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those who have achieved the master and the peace. Congratulations. I heard
Are you one
topic,
of them? Are you one of them, Susan?
No, please.
Oh, well, why not? So I'm just kidding.
Soon to be.
Okay, all right. So you tell us when that happens.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to make a contribution regarding the traffic congestion.
Of course.
In Kingston.
Yes.
I think it is a common issue in many countries, and it's also driven by many factors. I look at the peak hour demand, this rush to work, especially in the morning, regarding school, right? I personally think that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, those that was there before, now erect a lot of schools, but some of them are underpopulated. Whereas in Kingston area, you're seeing a plethora of school children, and the other schools are literally empty.
You're talking about the primary level?
Yeah,
especially.
At the primary level especially. I can't see why you're waking up a child from Barley to come in town, from Oria to come in town, where everybody basically when coming to teaching, you have a lot of qualified teachers with different level of qualifications. I don't see the need. So that is one of the reasons that we have traffic congestion.
But can I, before you move on to the series, can I ask you, well, what would be your suggestion for solution to children having to come into town for schooling?
Zone, to me, this is just my opinion.
Of course.
Zone the children, because we have universal education revolution. Zone the children, and where we have it now, the new curriculum will be rolling out soon. Whatever you're doing in Kingston, you'll also be doing it in Barley and over the Dry River. So it makes no sense you come into town.
Okay.
You're getting the same thing.
All right. Okay.
Another thing,
you were going to go on to your other point, sorry.
Yes. Parking. You need like high level or high rise parking, right? Too many congestion on the road with people circling just to be looking for parking. And my last point.
Well, hold on, before going to your last point, the parking, you would see that as a private sector initiative, or you'd see it as a government responsibility to build those?
Well, both. Both. I look at it as both. If the private sector can do it, I do have a problem. The government also, we need some high-rise parking in and around St. Vincent, right? And lastly, we have 6 towns. We only have one main town where everybody have to come in town to do this, to do that. We need to decentralize so we could have easy congestion on the road.
All right.
So that's my contribution this morning.
Well, thanks, and all the best to you. Thanks for calling us. And
have a blessed day. And Pigeon, this week is Teachers Week coming up. I want to encourage all teachers to come out, support the union. Have a blessed day and a weekend.
Teachers Solidarity Week.
Yes, Teachers Solidarity Week. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks for calling. Have a good day. Yeah, okay.
Cecil, one of the graduates I should talk about is our former president of the Teachers Union, Wendy Bino, who won the doctorate in education.
Okay.
She's now Dr. Wendy Bino Sam.
Okay. Well, congratulations to her and Wendy, if you listen, Dr. Bino Sam, I should say. And if you listen, congratulations to you.
And I had it listed here to mention the UWI graduation season and to note 2 things I observed from what I've looked at so far. The majority are women, and there's a significant number of Vincentians who graduated from UWI. And it would be interesting to know how far we are from the target of 1 university graduate per household. That would be interesting to know.
Okay. Very encouraging news. But what happened to the men?
Don't know.
I mean, it's good that the women are doing well insofar as, taking advantage of educational opportunities.
And,
It's good. We want to ask the question, what happens? There should be more men coming
A
forward.
number of young people were called to the bar
Oh, I noticed that
this week. I can't recall seeing any men among them.
Yeah, maybe they're into other things like engineering and becoming doctors. But yeah, your point is well taken. I noticed. I made the observation myself. I noticed where one story, one line from one story, is that this person, one of the young lawyers, she was sharing that she worked in a meat stall,
Fish market.
Fish market, yeah.
About a couple of weeks ago when the premise was here, I shared a story about a young person who got I think it's a tuition scholarship from the from college, and that was the person.
Oh, that was the person.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
She is a lawyer. She has been called. She has been called to the bar, and these are good stories, positive stories that really ought to be shared, so that others who are listening, particularly young people, know that there are a number of opportunities that they may wish to take care of. Yeah, I wish to do, because they're there, and the government, thankfully, are making it possible for people to study beyond secondary and college education. This tertiary education, and I noticed that a good number of them receive bursaries, national bursaries, according to what I saw in the paper. Did your observation hold as well? More female than male? I don't recall.
I didn't pay attention to the gender divide, but I suspect the pattern remains the same. That in St. Vincent there's a tendency to see more women progressing in educationally than men, generally.
Yeah. I hope we will see an improvement on the men. I mean, it's good. It's very good that the women are getting ahead. But we also need to see an uptake in the number of young men, or men generally, who are also on the upward path. Yeah. Earlier, I think there was a WhatsApp message from our good friend, Frankie. He called about a while ago, but before there's a WhatsApp message about. We have moved on from that point, Frankie. Sorry, I'm not going to reopen that again. Somebody is sharing something. I will read it, but I don't quite follow. Cambodian cruise ship canceled it this morning, safe after reaching in port. Okay, well, we've mentioned that earlier. Cambodian cruise ship canceled it this morning after reaching in port. I think maybe something that the person wants to have this read.
Car boat is in, but this cruise ship has been
cancelled. But the car boat, there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's an incident with the car boat, and the it was trying to dock.
And I think people must understand the context that these issues arise out of the damage done to the
by
wharf,
Hurricane Beryl.
Hurricane Beryl.
Right. Yeah. And which again, the wharf, which is already limited, and therefore it makes the case again for the justification for the new port.
Yeah.
Because the car boat would not have had to go there. It would have docked elsewhere. But the main port, which was explained by the Prime Minister and somebody else, was that, as you said, Pigeon, was damaged by Beryl. So the car boat cannot dock.
They have to share with the cruise
With the
ship.
cruise ship, yeah. And I remember he was raising it as a concern because you're saying it has to be executed, on such a close, timely basis. And look, it's happened, even as he was saying. So some weeks ago, it now has happened this morning. So yes, let me read some of the messages here. Good afternoon. I was traveling in a bus to Camden Park recently. No music was playing, but when they picked up the young people at Massey, the music went so loud, and he was speeding. Oh my God, something. My chest was pounding. I couldn't even tell the conductor the music was too loud. I think all music must be bad. A band in many buses, it is not fair to us, meaning passengers. And the person goes on to say, ban the music. It's ridiculous. All right, so you've made your point. So I hope other... okay, so we have checked one news already and we did mention it. Thanks for alerting us. That's in response to a message that came in. And our good friend is saying here, President Trump says his regime will only recognize one gender for men and one gender for women. I'm wondering what will that do for the LGBTQ plus agenda in the USA and the influence it will have on other countries around the world. Well, that's for us to see. It hasn't happened yet. As much as, we would have to wait to see how that's going to unfold. Interesting. Yeah, certainly it's going to be difficult to turn back reality. Although Trump is insistent on making America great again. I don't know if it means getting rid of these variations in living and life. Maybe, I don't know how he's going to do it. But again, I think it's a question of waiting and seeing. But also, I think those who are involved in advancing the improvement of human living, democracy, and other things, they have to continue their work, because whether it's Trump or who, is a phase is a part of the process, in my view, of development. And if you look at it as a struggle never happened in a straight line. Struggle is up and down. If you look at our own struggle as Black people, as African people, that struggle, the history of that struggle, if you were to draw a line, it will not be straight. It will be up, it will be down, it will be up, it will be down. But at the end of the day, well, not at the end of the day, but at some point in time, the struggle produced good things, and it's really to build on those good things, knowing that some of those good things may be temporarily pushed back, depending on who you have in the leadership, in my view, in the political leadership of any country. And that is why the question of leadership is so important. If you subscribe to the idea of struggle and achievement, political leadership and management is, in my view, is very, very important and crucial. Well, the US election has just demonstrated that. And it is demonstrating it right now. So we have some, all right, we have some other responses. Somebody shared something here saying, PCB, India will not travel to Pakistan for a Champions Trophy. I'm
not following that.
I am myself. Kojo is sharing it with us, but I'm not sure what it's referring to. maybe cricket, but I don't know. So I'm just going to leave that where it is. Not really. All right.
Cecil, I just want to use the opportunity to also extend congratulations to all the finalists in the public speaking competition held on the 5th.
Yes.
Young Raj Balls from the GPU Sess Memorial Secondary School emerged as a champion. And I think it's the first time I could recall GPU Sess ever winning the title.
And JP is the Edinburgh School, where you
Edinburgh
taught at
School.
one point.
Yes. He was followed by Alex Cummins, Samara Lynch of the Mountain View Academy, and third was Alex Cummins from the St. Martin Secondary.
But again, these are the non-traditional kind of, the usual ones.
I had a question mark about the non-inclusion of girls' high school in the.
I remember you had raised it.
In the finals. Well, I was not a judge, but I thought she did well enough to make the finals. But the judges, they had other ideas, and it was probably it's a long time since high school was not in the final. But it's good to see schools like the Sandy Bay Secondary in the final.
Yes. And even better still to know that JPU Sess won, the student from JPU Sess won,
and he was good. He clearly won it.
Okay.
Especially with his the
impromptu.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
The organizers went a little bit heavy on the impromptu. I think the topics, generally tend to be light topics, but I think this time they were a little bit heavy.
Challenging, more challenging.
More challenging.
That's a good thing. And the organizers, you're talking about the Lions.
Lions
Club South. Yeah.
I was wondering how come we didn't hear any minister of government on the protocol list.
For that event. Well, the Minister of Education, I thought would have been.
I didn't hear his name mentioned on the protocol list. But I keep hearing Honorable Fitzbramble.
Well, he was there, I guess.
He was there. I mean, in the preliminaries and in the finals. I must also say he's a past winner.
When
it was under the JCs.
Okay. So he has that kind of memory.
That kind of interest.
But certainly the Minister of, I thought it would have been proper for the Minister of Education, at least, to be there in attendance. I'm sure he might be listening to us, so he may.
There were a representative from the Ministry of Education and National Reconciliation. But they were basically senior officers.
Okay. Yeah. Especially young people are concerned and involved. We need to.
And we have to commend the Lions for being able to undertake the competition.
Year after year.
Year after year. And there was a reduction in the number of schools participating this year. And it had to do with their readiness as a result of burial again.
Okay.
And that's why the competition, which is normally held during Independence Week, had to be shifted back down to first week in November.
Yeah.
Because they had difficulties getting schools mobilized for the competition. And from what I listened to again, I was impressed by a young school, Canawan.
Okay.
In the preliminaries. It was good to hear them. Grammar schools, in my view, also did well, but I think they had a little lapse in the impromptu in the finals, but I think they did well. But the quality is spread throughout the country. And that's the point Susan was making earlier, that you don't have to leave your village or a community to go into a good school. The schools generally have what is required, and particularly at the primary level, I don't see why you should leave Barley to go to St. Mary's RC when there are 2 primary schools right there in Barley who are doing well. So that's something we need to pay attention to.
But I know that, Pigeon, you have raised it a number of times on the program, but I suspect you've raised it directly with education officials.
Yeah.
What has been their reaction?
It's a tradition that people don't really want to break away from. It's strictly tradition.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Yeah. Are there implications, like economic, political, social implications?
No,
if
not
they were
necessarily.
to.
What's interesting too is that at the end of the day, they all meet at the community college.
That's right. But I believe they would say between the time they enter secondary to the time they, or even primary, they get safeguarding the entry into the community college. I don't know if that's the argument they put. Or they guarantee the entrance of their children into the community college.
And I've had the experience where students from the rural secondary school, let us say Barley as an example, leave that community, bypass the Barley Secondary School and go into a school in Kingston. 2 or 3 years later, before they finish that school in Kingston, they're back at the Barley Secondary School as a transferee. They transferred back because of certain issues, difficult issues. They end up back in school in their home community, where things are easier for them.
Okay.
Because sometimes it's difficult for some parents to sustain sending the children, teenagers from rural communities into Kingston, where the so-called top schools are located.
Especially, well, as you're saying, those so-called top schools, and not necessarily these days top schools, you could get the same level of performance. You can have the same level of performance in some rural-based schools.
Yep.
Yeah. Somebody sent a message earlier, Pigeon. Let me just read it. Good day, gentlemen. There are so many issues with the vans and their intolerance for anyone else on the road, as well as disrespect for the passengers, that I want to suggest you invite the commissioner to do a dedicated session on your program. He needs to hear directly from the people. Actions need to be taken like happened in Grenada. We need to do better than what exists. It's a good suggestion, and we would give it further an active consideration, urgent as a matter of fact, to see if we can have the presence of the commissioner or his nominee on our program to talk about these traffic issues. We have another message saying, Cecil, the OECS swimming championship are taking place at the Shrewsbury Aquatic Center this weekend. Encourage persons to go out today, which is the final day for our competition. Well, having read, I didn't realize that's where we're going, but having read it, your suggestion, yes, I'm sure Pigeon would agree that we would want to urge listeners who can make it to go out to support those youngsters who will be involved in the championship at Shrewsbury Aquatic Center. That's at Rotherham Hill. You turn off to go down to where the Cuban embassy is down there. It's just find a way down there, close to not far away from that medicinal marijuana center. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's down in that area down there. So if you can, and he's saying also, Pigeon, Also, Pigeon could address the cricket issue with Azari Joseph being banned for misconduct in the last match in Barbados. I don't know about that. So, Pigeon, it wasn't asking you to address it.
I
don't know
didn't
if
follow
you-
it closely, so I am not in a position to really comment.
From what I was able to pick up, Azari Joseph was involved in a disrespect conduct on field.
To his captain.
Towards his captain. And I would imagine that under any circumstance, no matter what the issue was, I mean, he ought not to have shown disrespect to his captain, period, on and off the field. I mean, the man is his captain, and you have an obligation to be respectful. You may disagree, but doesn't mean you have to disrespect the gentleman. And that is where I would see this as a big no-no. It's not a good example for young sports people. Yes.
Consul General Huggins, I think he's listening. He generally listens to us. I saw him commented on social media. I don't know if he would like to share the comment with us.
Well, of Consul General, I think he may wish to share the comment that Pigeon is referring to. Share it with us. In a way, you're obligated to sharing with us, so we can read it. But I agree with the point that Azari Joseph, and isn't he the vice captain?
Yes.
There you go. And in as much as we asking our youngsters to become more disciplined, him as the vice captain of the West Indies one-day side should have done better. He has a responsibility to young people and to people, the cricketing world, but particularly to people of the young people of the region, and to himself and Tegans. If you are, why would you want to display? There's some arrogance about that, and it ought to be discouraged by all means. So somebody's saying here, Azari was banned for 2 matches, yeah? That is the norm. Fortunately for him, he didn't lose some of his match fee. Well, actually, should have been punished because. Oh yeah, Consul General has shared the Pigeon, his comments. I'm trying to open it so in order to read it, but I'm not getting it up. I don't know what happened.
That's you would give us a call.
Yeah, Consul General, I'm having difficulty accessing your Facebook comments, but perhaps maybe you should give us a call, or I don't know if you share it on my phone. Maybe I'll be able to pick it up and read it. So yes, if you can, please give us a call if you're in a position to. So otherwise, we're getting close to the 1 o'clock hour, and except we hear from you, and we were trying to get an update from Minister Brown concerning about the issue of what happened in Port Kingstown this morning. If she's able to, Minister Brown, if you're able to, can you give us a quick call and give us an update? It may not be possible at this time, but if you can, it'd be good to hear from you. Oh yes, so I'm now able to see Consul General's. This is what he has. Azari Joseph should not bowl another ball in this game. I think he was talking about the game in process, yeah? His behavior on the field was atrocious. I rather lose with discipline than to win with ill discipline. I agree with that.
That is the point I was trying to remember.
Okay.
That resonated with me.
I agree with that. I agree with him. Yeah. I'd rather lose with discipline than to win with ill discipline. So something didn't go his way and he got mad and walked off the field. Oh, that's the height of, yeah. And I agree with the what the person was implying, that just the person was saying basically, as I was banned for 2 matches. That is the norm. But it seems to me this is more than the norm. It's a disrespect not only to the captain and the rest of his colleagues on the field, a disrespect to the West Indies, disrespect to Caribbean people, disrespect to Antigua. He's an Antiguan in terms of his nationality. Disrespect to young people, young men especially, men and women actually, who look to him. But yeah, I certainly agree with that. We're getting close to the end of the program. And, oh yes, our good friend and comrade Kojo is saying when he talked about PCB, India will not travel to Pakistan for championships trophy. He was referring to cricket, he said. Not quite. Okay. And there's another reply from somebody saying, ironically, the ball after the argument, he got okay, all right. Regardless to what it is, what happened after, point is that dealing with the question of ill discipline on his behalf. Really. All right, Pijan, any final roundup matter you'd wish to?
Just as Susan reminded us that the Teachers Union will celebrate observe Solidarity Week beginning this week.
Mm-hmm.
The Friday, which is normally the highlight, is the day of the commemorative march and rally. We'll begin at 2:30 at the Peace Memorial Hall area and end in a rally at the grounds of the Bishop's College, Kingston. I'm not quite much informed about the rest of the week, but those are the two. That's the highlight of the week.
Okay. But of course, as we want to join Susan in encouraging teachers to go out and express their solidarity in their struggle, in their union. I know these days people have a tendency to not to show themselves in solidarity and to identify with the struggles from which they are now benefiting. The outcome of the struggle, all the struggles that other people who started and were involved in, and now that they're there, they themselves, and not only, that they're benefiting from, that's what the point I should say. So now they have a responsibility, if only to history and to those who came before, to go out and continue to struggle, continue to struggle for what the union is.
And this year marked 49th anniversary of Tear Gas Friday.
Oh, and what is Tear Gas Friday? We just remind our listeners.
Tear Gas Friday was the Friday, can't remember the exact date, in which the authorities tear gas the marching teachers, who they claim were doing so in defiance of our order of not having permission to march.
Mm-hmm.
The authorities decided to use tear gas to expel the teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Disperse, sorry, the march.
The march, yeah. There's a little bit of, I think, I remember I was in conversation with somebody who said it wasn't the order did not come from the head of the government, but from somebody in the police who took the thing. But it happened.
It happened.
And people got
under the suzerainty of the government.
Yes. Let me just finish this. Council General responded by saying, my reports tell me that Azari Joseph is encouraged by members of the management team to a point where he became the vice captain. And he goes on to say, he should have felt it in the pocket. Certainly agree. I mean, but I don't quite understand when you say they're encouraged by the members of the management team. But I certainly agree that his punishment should have reached his pocket. Yeah.
Well, some of the other attitudes remind me of Sammy, in a way.
Of who?
Darren Sammy.
Oh.
It sounds like something that Darren Sammy would do.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think so, but I just get
but Darren Sammy, remember when he pushed for the change in the board? Remember he was involved in that? In a way. Yeah. So Pigeon, somebody's correcting you saying it's the 15th of November. That's for the March.
March this year. Yeah.
Oh, it's the 15th. Yeah. Is that what you said? The person saying anyway it's the 15th of November. So the March is on the 15th. Oh, we missed a very important. Kojo is sharing with us a photo of Frankie McIntosh, but I'm not sure what the full story is about. It's what we're seeing now is only a photo. I'm not sure. Kojo, I'm not sure what it is you want to raise about Frankie. We know that he is, a genius in terms of the history of his arrangement, the history of how he has arranged for all Caribbean soca artists, and his genius of his musical ability, but I'm not sure what point you're raising now. Anyway, perhaps you can raise that next week because our program has come to an end for today, and I would like to thank all the people who listen to the program and who follow the program and who made contributions to today's program. Those who listen via Star FM, we want to thank the management of Star FM, Star Radio, thank the management also of Garifuna Radio for carrying the broadcast, and of course the management of WEFM to continue making it possible for so many people across the world, really, especially Vincies, to be able to listen to the program, and even where it becomes robust with some listeners, with some callers, we urge contribution, we urge participation. We all strive for clarity and understanding. So again, thank you all for being here. Pigeon, any final roundup? All right. And so on behalf of Pigeon and Joel, who had to leave us earlier, my name is Cecil Ryan, and I also have to say thanks to Karen, our very able person who support us technically here on the program. Thank you very much, and my name is Cecil Ryan again. Good afternoon. Have a good day.